And I'm delighted to be joined this morning by David Connolly, who is the Chief Technology Officer with Astatine. And I started by asking him to explain exactly what his business does.
Yeah, look, we're bringing a very well-proven technology, but in a very unique way to the Irish market, something that has been around in Europe for 30 to 40 years, but for some reason we haven't capitalised on its potential in Ireland up until now, when we in Greenhats are bringing it to the Irish market, and that is large-scale heat pumps for industrial heat users. So anybody who has hot water or heat or steam demand in a large company up to about 200 degrees Celsius, we are now bringing a renewable heat alternative to their existing oil or gas boiler, which we believe we can provide at either the same or a lower cost than what they've been paying for before. Now, as I said, that the technology is not new, so it's very well proven. There's 20,000 or so units installed across industries in Europe every year, but it is new to Ireland. And the other thing that's very new is the way that we provide the technology for our customers. So we don't just design and install and maintain the technology, we can actually finance it also. So for a lot of people, when they're looking at a renewable energy or a low carbon alternative, one of the big stumbling blocks can be the initial upfront investments that they need to make. So instead of them having to spend hundreds of thousands or millions of euro upfront on day one, we provide it as a service. So that's the green heat as a service. So we will actually pay for the upfront cost, and then the customer will just pay a utility bill like they're used to with many of their other services like electricity or gas or telecom. So they pay a monthly or bi-monthly bill based on the consumption of heat, renewable heat that they use from our units. So it's a funny situation where the technology is well proven, but us bringing it to Ireland and the way in which we're offering the solution to clients is very new.
It is a great option for someone who wants to be to bring their business along with regards to renewable energy, because this source will be totally all based on renewable technology.
Yeah, so on site in the factory, we take away all of their existing fossil fuel use and replace it with a renewable energy source. So for many of our clients, one of the funniest things they experience is before they had a chimney with a boiler to provide their heating needs. Once we install a heat pump, they replace that boiler with the heat pump, and now there's no chimney, there's no emissions on site. The only emissions that you have associated with the heat pump is the emissions from the electricity that you put into it. But they're a fraction of what you would have had with your boiler. You're usually looking at about a 90% net carbon reduction. So compared to the boiler that you just had, when you install these large-scale heat pumps that do up to 200 degrees Celsius in terms of temperature, you're getting about a 90% reduction in carbon. But like the great thing about this is not just a good thing for the environment, this is very good for the bottom line. So I'm sure many people listening to your show, Claire, are experiencing rapidly increasing fuel prices right now. You know, everything, not only in the industry where we serve, but right down to the day-to-day consumer. In the last 3 to 6 months, I'm sure they've had bills come through their door where electricity, gas or oil or LPG or kerosene are all growing dramatically in price in the last 6 to 12 months. So for many of our clients, even before this huge increase of 300 to 400% over the last few months happened, this was an economically sensible thing to do for their bottom line, as well as a good thing to do for the environment. Now that we've had these huge jumps in energy prices over the last few months, this has become an absolute no-brainer for many of our clients, not just because they get to help the environment, which of course is a huge motivating factor as well, but because when you rely on a renewable energy resource, you know the cost that you're going to pay because you're not depending on importing fossil fuels from all around the world, which can just dramatically jump in price like we've seen over the last few months, and looks set to continue, unfortunately, for many people over the next 6 to 12 months.
Well, it certainly does look set to continue, and is the basis for inflation actually is the increase in fuel. Now, David, this sounds like a very painless process. I just want to describe what I'm understanding, and you can correct me if anything I'm saying is incorrect. So I have a factory and I want to change my energy supplier, and that is basically what you are doing here. I don't have to pay for my equipment to be taken out or new equipment to be taken in. You cover all that cost. I just pay for my electricity or my energy or whatever to you.
That's exactly it. And what we're trying to do is make the switch from carbon emitting solutions like fossil fuels to low carbon solutions like our large scale heat pumps as painless as possible, because the scale at which we need to do this and the speed at which we need to do this requires solutions like ours, where people, like if I'm in a plant working day to day, if I'm producing milk or I'm producing cheese or I have a metals factory or a brewing company or a distillery, my main concern day to day is producing the products I specialize in. I'm not an energy expert. And a lot of these solutions can be complex. And I suppose our job is to try and reduce that complexity as much as possible. So if someone gets in touch by going to greenhouse.com, gets in touch with us, says, look, I have a heating need of this temperature and this amount. And as I said, anyone who's in the business that needs 200 degrees Celsius or less is very, very likely to we're likely to have some kind of solution that if they get in touch with us and say, this is what I need, we then take care of everything from the initial assessment, the design, the installation, the operation and maintenance for the full 10 to 20 year lifetime of the project. And of course, it's very much in our interest to make sure that this works reliably and is really able to deliver, because we get paid for every unit of heat that the technology produces. So we absolutely want to make sure it's delivering as high quality heat as we can possibly deliver for the full lifetime. And this, and then by offering the finance option, not everyone takes it, believe it or not. Like, we offer to pay the upfront costs and then bill people every month. Some clients actually choose to say, no, actually, I'd prefer to pay the upfront costs because for me, I'd like to just do it that way. So we do offer both, but by offering the option for people that we can pay the upfront costs, it can overcome a hurdle for many clients that they would face if we got to that point. So the whole offer that we make to clients is to make this transition from fossil fuels to renewable heating as seamless as possible. We also, even though our whole speciality is in high temperature heat pumps, we do then offer things that we wouldn't say we're unique to, but make the whole transition even easier as well. So for example, heat pumps use electricity to create zero carbon heating. We also offer solar PV installations on site for the factory. So this can be a very nice complementary add-on where if you're using electricity to produce renewable heat, and we can also install some solar photovoltaic panels on the site which produces electricity. Now you're producing your own local green electricity to put into your heat pump to produce renewable heat, and you can see then how the circle kind of continues. So these are things we try to just make as seamless as we possibly can so clients can transition as easy as possible.
Well, it's a fantastic solution, and I know that you have a number of clients in the Northwest, so you're around this area quite regularly. Can you just give us a website that people can contact you on?
I can. It's greenhouse.com, and not only am I around there regularly, I'm actually from that area myself, so very passionate about trying to move the Northwest from all that oil and gas over to something renewable as fast as we can. And I should just say as well, in particular for the Northwest, where there's lots of wind energy, there's a really nice synergy where we use the electricity to power these clean renewable heat pumps to provide clean heat for our factories and industries. So I absolutely can't wait to hopefully help transition the Northwest as fast as possible to a clean heating sector.
Well, something that is badly needed, and a very interesting business. We will definitely be coming back to speak with you again. And that is David Connolly, and David is the Chief Technology Officer with Astatine. And to get more information on that interesting business, it's greenhaas.com, GREENHAAS. David Connolly, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this morning's show, and we will definitely be speaking with you again.
Thanks very much, Claire.
Up and Running with Claire Ronan on Ocean FM.